Hi, this is Chatboxing. I'm Sean. I've just seen an interview with Tunde Jai, the coach of Anthony Yarde, on Fight Hype, I think it was. Someone put it on Facebook. Quite a few people are talking about it on there. I've seen quite a few people talking about the Buatsi fight, potential fight for a while. So I just want to give my opinion on it. The interview itself, Tunde Jai is pretty much sneering at the prospect of fighting against Joshua Buatsi. Now, the way he's talking, you'd think that Anthony Yarde was some kind of all-time great, and Joshua Buatsi was just some bum off the street. I mean, he did the same thing with like Jose Burton. I remember with the Buglioni, when they really wanted to fight Frank Buglioni. Frank Buglioni was due to fight Callum Johnson. Jose Burton, the British Boxing Board of Control, mandated Jose Burton to fight Anthony Yarde, and Anthony Yarde's team pulled him out of that purse bid, just openly avoided it. And then the same thing, Tunde Jai, really sort of dismissive, saying, "Oh, he's sort of not on our level. We want to fight against Buglioni. Buglioni beat Jose Burton." That was the excuse to avoid him. He did beat Jose Burton, but Jose Burton's a better fighter than him, in my opinion. I mean, he's winning the fight. He got knocked out in the 11th or the 12th round. Got caught. It does happen. But in my opinion, Jose Burton is a much better fighter than Frank Buglioni. In any case, styles make fights. Buglioni would have been an easier fight stylistically for Anthony Yarde. I think he would have just sort of met him head on, and he would have come off second best in that kind of fight. Jose Burton would have been a much tougher challenge, but just avoided it. And not just avoided it, but just sort of dismissed it as if, like, we're above that. It's all very well sort of saying, "Oh, we're above that," if you go on to do something bigger than that. But you can't act like that and then fight against just some random Bulgarian that no one's ever heard of. Callum Johnson, another one. Didn't want to fight Callum Johnson. Now Joshua Buatsi. He was trying to say, Joshua Buatsi, he's not... Or I don't think he's talented. What are you talking about, mate? You don't think Joshua Buatsi is talented? I mean, you can say that Joshua Buatsi is unproven, say that he may not go on to fulfill his potential. But once you're telling me that you don't think he's talented, that just tells me you're being dishonest. I mean, he knows everyone knows that Buatsi. There's one thing he's talented. Now, I think he's one of the best prospects we've got. I don't know how good he's going to go on to be. There are loads of question marks, obviously, need to be answered. Questions need to be answered. But he's clearly very, very talented. And I'd pick him to beat all of Yarde's opponents so far. So this idea that, that's sort of beneath us, it's just ridiculous. And I think people are starting to get a bit fed up of it. It's a shame, because Anthony Yarde is a good fighter, he's talented. He was quite popular at first, and I can just see his stock going down. He's starting to get a bit of a reputation, someone who's just avoiding competition. Ducked Jose Burton, ducked Callum Johnson, ducking Joshua Buatsi, ducked Beterbiev. Okay, fair enough, Beterbiev was a world champion, so they're not ready for that. Okay, fair enough. But if you're sort of ducking like British level, domestic level opposition, while at the same time, trying to act as if I'm sort of above all of that, people aren't really feeling it. And I can see the tide shifting against it, and it's a shame, because I do like Anthony Yarde. I like him as a fighter, I like him as a man, I like all the stuff he's doing in his community. I've seen quite a few things where he's getting involved in, like anti-knife crime campaigns around East London. And, he's trying to be a positive role model and stuff like that. I like him. Do you know what I mean? So, and I do rate, I think he's got potential. So I want to see him up his game a little bit. I think they're protecting him. Well, I don't think they, but I know they're protecting him. Ajayi and Warren, they need to put him in a bit of a test. Now, I'm not saying like stick him in back-to-back fights with Kovalev, Stevenson, Bivol and Beterbiev, but at least let him fight some of the best people in the country. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I want to see. Honestly, the Buatsi fight for me is a great fight he made. It's a brave one from Buatsi. Buatsi's had like about 7 fights, I think. People aren't messing about. This is the thing with Anthony Yarde. I mean, forget like what's going on. We've got some very good prospects all over the country, all over the UK, Scotland, Ireland as well. Like England, everywhere. So if you look at what people are doing, Even just in London, forget people like Josh Kelly and Josh Taylor up in Scotland. Look at people in London. Look at O'Hara Davis, Lawrence Okolie. They're stepping up. You know, O'Hara Davis fought Derry Matthews early on. He fought Josh Taylor, the fight that he didn't have to take. Lawrence Okolie fought Isaac Chamberlain. Now he's fighting Luke Watkins. You know, but even in London, like his peers are sort of stepping up much quicker and getting his learning fights, getting his experience. Now I don't want to see Yarde just sort of build up a record like sort of 36 wins, 36 knockouts, and hardly anyone that we've ever heard of. I want to see him get in there and test himself, because I think he can be very good, but he needs to step up his game and get into some proper learning fight. And I'm not blaming him for this. I'm blaming Ajayi and Warren. I think they're Frank Warren. I mean, obviously, Anthony Yarde is he's a potential star. He sees him as, obviously. He's a knockout artist, looks the part, good fighter, charismatic. So he's obviously thinking, yeah, I can just sort of keep him out of trouble, protect him, and maybe build him into something big and try and rival what Matchroom are doing. But I don't think it's the right way to manage his career. I mean, some very, very good fighters in that division. Now, I watch a bit of it, but I'm not an expert on like the real lighter divisions. So I can't talk for the whole of boxing, but it's definitely one of the best divisions in boxing. You've got some serious Stevenson, Kovalev, Turbia, Bivol, Badu Jack. I mean, there are just loads of them. You've got like some serious fighters in there. So there's no rush for him to get up there like world level. I understand that, but domestic level, Buatsi, Callum Johnson, Jose Burton, these are good fights to be made. So yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing from Tunde Ajayi, to be honest. I don't really like his attitude. I don't really like his sort of attitude towards Anthony Yarde either. He seems like more of a fan than anything else. There's nothing wrong with having a good relationship with your fighters, but he seems to be almost starstruck by Anthony Yarde. Do you know what I mean? He seems to me to be a bit too impressed with his existence. So yeah, well, I don't know. Let me know what you lot think. Do you agree with me? Do you think that Anthony Yarde needs to step it up? He's obviously going to stay with Tunde Ajayi for now. They've got a good relationship, but yeah, I'm not really a big fan of his, to be honest, not from what I've seen so far. But let me know what you lot thinking. Let me know what you lot think, and thank you very much for watching.